I like to go for my walks out in nature. And there's a lot to see and experience in nature. Some of the things that you see, well, even right now, are, of course, nature. But where I was going with that subject was kind of in this direction. And so basically, it's just a lot of the things that could bring me peace here are more absent than not. And by that, what I mean is right now, you should see spider webs, should be able to hear bugs. And it's not that there aren't any, it's just that this is, I can count more of this easily. Than any of the things that I normally would find in these wild spaces. And it's been so sudden, the transformation from having life in these areas to not having life, that hardly anyone would even notice anyway, because, well, who in their right mind would be walking at 2:46 in the afternoon when it's 95 degrees outside on a trail like this? Who in their right mind would do something like that? Well, anyone who enjoys seeing wildlife. That's the main reason why I ever started this channel, was to share wildlife. Now, don't get me wrong, I've branched out. Get it? As I almost run into a branch. I've branched out. Here's a cardinal overhead. There used to be so many more. I get concerned as I talk through the situation, and as people experience these places in different ways than having to do with actually seeing the wildlife around them. If anyone could notice how peaceful it was hearing the cardinal, the chirp of the cardinal, seeing it, and then recognize that some of us are just zooming through. If some of us could experience and understand walking away from the traffic, the noises of traffic, to where it gets so quiet that all we hear is our own thoughts. What happens when we turn those thoughts off? Then we start to actually observe and participate in the thoughts of others. So the old adage of staying quiet to learn the most, it's true. We can learn a lot more when we're not opening our mouths to spill out and regurgitate some of the content that we might only know from stories. Like in my stories, coming out here just a few years ago, even in these extreme temperatures, would yield all types of wildlife, and there'd be a lot more cactus here too. So then we run into situations where we might start to become anxious if we think too long about it. What kind of things really would ever help to eradicate anxiety aside from peace? And so when we think about peace, to have our fists clenched as we demonstrate why our version is superior to someone else's version of peace, we're basically in defiance of learning with one another about things. It's quite peaceful. So right now I'm about 6/10 of a mile into this walk. I'm coming across a wash, and it's very reminiscent of going to some place like Big Bend National Park and experiencing a rich desert wash. So you never know what you're going to see. Let's see what we see today. One of the things I like about this trail system is that right at about the 1.5 mile mark is where you reach a junction as far as starting out from the trailhead where I'm at. And at this junction, you can choose to continue on or just turn back around. So right now I'm in sandals, and there are some promising clouds. And so I'm kind of out of shape at this point. I'm trying to show my effort in the form of a poorly thought out rain dance. Help pray for reasonable rainfall for one another. And hopefully that'll at least help for us to know there are other people asking for peace as well. So far I've gone a quarter mile in sandals. Wonder if I could run a marathon in them. Did you see that? I think it was the dove. Anyway, it's about all else that happened today.